It is now time for our feature presentation. Spoiler warnings.
He's got a gun! Get on the floor! Drop the gun! No!
I killed him.
I killed him. I killed him.
You guys think a girl did this?
Let me see if I got this straight. A ghost wiped out everyone in front of you. How many bodies you say there were?
20, 30. Crowley killed them all.
Best you got for me? Some kind of urban legend?
I'm telling you the truth.
Whether you want to believe it or not, this has Victor Crowley written all over it.
What the hell did this?
You still think he's dead?
Killed him.
Oh shit! Help! Help! Help!
These are somebody's balls. Balls are not supposed to be hanging from trees. That guy knows what's up. If we don't leave right this second, nobody's gonna be alive tomorrow.
Alright, Dwayne, our next review, we have the 2013 Hatchet 3. Alright, so, this one is pretty good. It starts off right, just like the Hatchet 2, it starts right after Hatchet 2 ends. Like, the ends with her shooting Victor, and it begins here with her shooting Victor. And she walks away, he pulls a Michael Myers lean, which I love.
Just sit straight up.
Yeah. And you know, and as she's fucking that noise, she's like, as she goes on in the woods, she thinks she hears them, and she's very smart too. And she's like, I think I hear them. And instead of just like most people in scary movies, like, I hope not. She actually starts up that giant chainsaw he had too, and he attacks her. Shit, that was him. But she manages to like, oh, it's really cool too, the way his head. How his head looked after she shot him. He's attacking her with no face.
Yeah.
And she like jams her hands in his skull, and it knocks him back, and he falls on the giant chainsaw and cuts him in half. That's how the goddamn movie opens. Holy shit. It's pretty cool. Great opening. And then she heads back to the city. How is she not fucking dead ass tired though?
She's probably tired.
She's probably been up for how long? Probably 48 hours? Yeah.
At least 2 days or so.
I mean, I guess adrenaline was going to help with that. So she heads back to the city, and she brings Victor's scalp with her and a shotgun, and she goes straight to a police station. If she was black, the movie would have ended right here. But she goes in covered in blood with a scalp and a gun, and they throw her and arrest her, and they lock her up in the cell. Quick note, this one was not directed by Adam Green, like Hatchet 1 and 2. He did write it, but he did not direct it. This was directed by B.J. McDonnell, and this was his directorial debut in cinema. He's actually known for more being of a camera and being in the camera and electrical department. But after this film, B.J. McDonnell directed a bunch of music videos and the movie Studio 666 and Dead Island. B.J. was also one of the unnamed hunters that was killed off in Hatchet 2. I mean, they had a little montage and where they were just killing people that you didn't know. So here's where we meet the sheriff, Sheriff Fowler. And I don't know if you recognized him, Dwayne. He's played by Zach Galligan. You might remember him. He was the star of Gremlins 1 and 2.
Yeah.
He was both Gremlins. He played Billy. He was also in Waxwork 1 and 2, which I've never seen.
You not seen Waxwork?
Is it good?
I like the first one.
Okay. 2 not good?
I don't remember the second one very well, but I remember the first one. It's actually really good.
What is Waxwork?
So there's this wax museum that pops up, and people go to visit it, and when they get close to the exhibit, like they go wherever time period it is, they get stuck in that time, and either they get out or they get killed.
Oh.
And they become like wax sculptures there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like in the late 80s. It was actually, I liked it. It was actually pretty good.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Mary Beth tells Sheriff Fowler what happened, and yeah, he don't believe that shit for a second. Which I didn't get, Dwayne, because he did not believe her. However, they closed off Honey Island Swamp for what reason?
A lot of people get killed off there.
Huh. Okay.
But I don't believe there's a person out there killing that.
Yeah, I mean, he should know. He knew the backstory. Later on, we find his wife is an expert on Victor Crowley, and then yeah, I don't know. He has the theory that she's the killer. Also, little Easter egg here. You know, the director and writer of Hatchet 1 and 2, and he's the writer of Hatchet 3, Adam Green, is playing this character he played in the first 2 movies. He's over there in the cell next to her, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, when the sheriff starts trying to say back everything that Mary Beth said, what happened, he's like, this is some BS or something, and like a cheap horror movie, and then the actual guy that wrote the movie, it's like he's the guy in the cell next door and just pops his head up like he's making the insult about him and everything.
Yeah. The sheriff decides he's going to go check out Honey Island Swamp, and he leaves his best friend and deputy Winslow in charge of Mary Beth. And currently at the island, we got a group of paramedics out there and cops. A one-eyed cop named Hamilton is in charge. Fun fact, the actor of Hamilton, Jason Trost, is actually blind in his right eye, so the eye patch he's wearing is the real deal. He wears it in all his movies. You may have seen him in All Superheroes Must Die, This Is the End. He was an extra in Scream 2. And he also appeared in director V.J. McDonald's Studio 666. So right before the sheriff can make it out, his ex-wife Amanda shows up, who's an expert in Victor Crowley. She is played by Caroline Williams. You may remember her from the movie we talked about 100 times this episode, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Yeah. She's in Sharknado 4.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. You're not going to celebrate on Sharknado 4?
No.
She's in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Yep.
And most recently, she was in Renfield.
I've not seen Renfield.
I haven't either. I heard it's good, though.
That's what I heard.
The sheriff wants her to have nothing to do with this case, but after the sheriff leaves, she quickly convinces Winslow to let her talk to Mary Beth, even though she's definitely not allowed to. She talks him to let her talk to Mary Beth, and she goes in there. And was you excited to see a girl stretch in here?
Yeah, I like Caroline Williams. She's been in a couple movies that I've seen, and I was like, hey, I remember her. She was in.
When we watched Texas Chainsaw 3, she had made a cameo in that movie, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And she's trying to like help Mary Beth out and to believe in you. And Mary Beth says, "Fuck you." She makes horrible decisions, Dwayne. Like nonstop. Hatchet 1, 2, and 3. They were just nonstop horrible decisions. Like, hey, let's run. Hey, let's go back to his cabin. Now, fuck it, run. You know, nonstop bad decisions. And like this one girl's trying to help her, and she's like, "Fuck off." You know, it made no sense to me why you'd be rude to someone who's trying to help.
Yeah.
And, you know, she kind of Amanda brings the hate back, and finally Mary Beth decides to tell her what happened. We cut back over to the paramedics on the island. We meet Andrew, who is played by Barry Shin. Yes, he played Sean in Hatchet 1, he played Justin in Hatchet 2, now he's playing Andrew here in Hatchet 3. Really glad to see him back, and now he's a paramedic who, I they made a hint that he looks like Sean and Justin, but he played that off as racist. I think the fourth one, they kind of hinted he was related to him.
Yeah.
They found 2 people who had his DNA on them. I'm thinking that was a reference to Sean and Justin. I don't know. They never confirmed that, but that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a group of paramedics over there, and there's also another paramedic, Randy. He's been in a shit ton of horror movies too. He's played by Sean Wallen. This guy's a character actor. He's been in everything. He was in Men in Black, Twister, Hebrew Hammer, and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. This guy's been in everything. I think I've seen him on TikTok too. Yeah, also there's another Easter egg. While Mary, Beth, and Amanda are talking, the symbol on the prison wall is the symbol that was on Ben's shirt and on the dude's hat in Hatchet 2. It makes an appearance in all 4 films. I guess he must really like that comic book store, dude. I don't know. So they talk about a little bit about this Victor coming back at night. There's not a whole lot of his origin was talked about in this one, which I think was kind of good because they've done so much in 1 and 2. I'm kind of glad they held back on 3.
Yeah, so I'm straight kill him.
Yeah, and Andrew told Randy he needs to look at Victor Crowley right away. He goes, dude, I think this is the guy here. So as he's looking at him, he's looking at stuff, Randy's looking away. You can kind of see the body bag moving a bit, and of course you know, Victor's coming back.
Yeah.
And then within a few seconds, Victor he used a defibrillator on his head and blows his head away. That was a pretty fucking cool kill. This one, I think the kills lacked a bit.
Yeah. A lot of it's just people getting tore up and stuff. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the comedy here, the last one, the comedy dipped about 20 comedy, 80 horror. This one, I would say 6% comedy.
Yeah, it's a lot less.
94 horror. Yeah, and this one's kind of a much more serious tone. So yeah, this one's pretty brutal. And so then we got our first kill. Now the first 2 movies, the kills start around 40 minutes. This one, it took about 20 minutes to get the kills rolling. So this one's a lot faster pace. If you're just here for the kills, this one will get you there a lot quicker. Alright. After the commotion of Randy's death, Hamilton, the cop in charge, hears all that. He goes to investigate it, and he gets a hatchet for his troubles. He looked cool, but he just didn't last long. Yeah. We go back to Mary Beth and Amanda, and they can hear the commotion on the radio of the people getting killed. And Amanda convinces Winslow that they all 3 should go on a road trip. She wants to find the relative of Thomas Crowley. She knows somebody who is a relative to Thomas Crowley, and because apparently she said the way to end the curse of Victor Crowley is to have someone responsible bring Thomas Crowley back to Victor Crowley.
Yeah.
So they're going to go meet with a relative of Thomas Crowley, and they go on a road trip for like 80% of the movie. And so we're going back, Honey Island Swamp. The sheriff has gathered a crew of a couple officers. But right as the sheriff and his men get there, another group comes in, and it's a SWAT team. And the SWAT team's led by a guy named Hughes. Was it Hughes or Hawes?
Hughes, I think.
So his name was, the leader of the SWAT team was either Hughes or Hawes. And he's a big guy. He's played by Derek Mears. And if you don't know who that is, Derek Mears played Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th, the remake, the 2009 remake, I believe. Yep. He was also in Hills Have Eyes 2, and he played one of the Predators in the Predators movie. I think that's the one with Danny Trejo.
Okay.
And I can't remember.
The one on the other planet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also was the alien on the roof in the film Signs, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Anyway, so Dwayne, I was so excited when I saw Derek Mears in this film. I was like, we're going to get a fucking Jason versus Jason fight. Fucking A. So I was really pumped up for it.
The girl who plays on the SWAT team, she's one of the actresses that plays in Hatchet 1 and 2. she was the one that played young Victor Crowley under the makeup. So they actually got her not in makeup as one of the SWAT team in this movie.
Yeah. Also, she is director Adam Green's wife at the time. They're divorced now, but they did. That was his wife when they made this movie. I bet he's pretty happy he killed her off in this film. So, so that was his wife actually.
And that might be my favorite kill in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Hers?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that here in a little bit.
Yeah, just a hint.
So one of the other officers that's with the sheriff his name is Schneiderman. He's played by Cody Snyder. Does that last name sound familiar?
Yeah.
He's the son of Twisted Sister lead singer Dee Snider. He also worked on Adam Green's Frozen film. He made a cameo in that movie too. He was walking by, and then also Dee Snider himself made a voice cameo in Frozen. Also, more on the subject in Hatchet 2, when she's talking with Uncle Bob after the shower scene, she's actually wearing a Twisted Sister shirt. So there's a lot of fucking Twisted Sister love in these movies.
Heck yeah.
Pretty cool band. So it's kind of cool to see his son in this movie. Mm-hmm. And then, so the group's all talking, and his son, the Schneiderman, he's kind of like he knows the Victor Crowley legend, and he wants nothing to do with it. And then Adam Green's wife, she's new, so she don't know any of this. They kind of like a hint of a romance a little bit. I kind of like those two. I've seen Hatchet 1 you kind of get to know the characters, you know who you like. And this one, not
about 3 or 4 characters you actually get to.
Yeah, I do like Andrew, but it's only because I like the actor and the other two. If it wasn't for that, if he was played by someone else, I wouldn't have cared about the character.
No, not at all.
I did like Schneiderman. Because he's kind of like a pussy, but he's smart because he kind of knows the legend. And besides that, I don't. Did you like the sheriff?
Nah. Now, as much as I like Zach from the Gremlins when I grew up, he was a jerk in this movie. I didn't care if he lived or died.
I kind of liked Winslow. The cop, black cop.
Yeah. You got more time with him though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had more screen time with him. You had more time to develop.
Yeah, and some of these characters, they kind of get a pass because they're the actors.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps. But I think out of all the movies,
cannon fodder in the movie.
Yeah, I think this fourth one, I think they spent less time with characters, and they just kind of like, hey, this might be the last one. Let's just go balls to the wall, and they kind of do. And the group runs into Andrew. He was the only survivor of the original group that went in, and he's been hiding this whole time. Yeah. He's like, we gotta get the fuck out, which freaks Schneiderman out, who's already been saying he's kind of scared. He shows that he's a bazooka with him. Yeah. So, and that's gonna get used later. All right, and they actually have a pair of balls hanging from a tree.
Yeah.
Which is from Hatchet 2 with the chainsaw. That was that's kind of anyway. So. The group runs on, and they get to Victor's cabin, and they can actually hear Victor at this point. And one of the coolest things is you see this little dark cabin, and then you see 2 cops kind of standing in front of it, and you can't see what's in the cabin, but Victor's in there.
Yeah.
And that's a bad cop thing. Cops usually got to check room to room, perimeter. Yeah. They do that here. And they got the backs to it, and then sure shit, he's in there, and he starts pulling them in one by one, killing them, which is really fucking cool. He just starts slashing away all these unnamed cops we don't know, just hacking them up. After he kills all these guys, he picks one guy up and rips him in half like a dead kid, and finally we get it, our Jason versus Jason. And Derek Mears runs over after watching a man rip a man in half like a piece of paper. He goes, I want me some of that. And runs over and gets his ass whooped. Victor just basically slams him against the wall, shoves his fist in his stomach, and pulls his spine and skull out of his body. What a big fucking letdown of a fight, Dwayne. What do you think?
Yeah, they said Jason versus Jason.
Yeah.
And Derek Mears is a big guy.
Oh yeah, he's
big
taller,
muscle,
taller than
big muscle looking guy, and he gets killed like in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, I was like, Leatherface is gonna get that cool ass fight, but the fucking big ass Jason. But I did feel kind of like he did play Predator, so it's kind of a cool like homage.
Yeah,
maybe.
the skull and the spine. Yeah.
So after he kills that guy, he picks up another unheard of guy, and he's like, looks like he's hinting like he's gonna try and shove his face to this sharp spiked pole.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no. And so Schneiderman, he's like, alright, fuck it, bazooka time. He pulls out the bazooka, he gets ready, he goes, hey, what about that guy? He goes, he's already dead, he'll be alright. And he shoots the fucking bazooka at him. And then it's head right towards him. And Victor, I don't know if he throws him or if the bazooka just hit the cop he was holding, and it launches him to Victor's house, and it blows up.
Victor just like turns his head and watches the rocket go by him and everything. It's great.
It's probably one of the coolest things in the whole movie. And Schneiderman's like, well, shit. And he runs away, and Victor throws a burning piece of lumber through his spine. I mean, that fucker went in there deep, and he's falling to the ground. And he's like, oh, shit. Everybody's like, all right. And they ran away. And so as they're running away, Victor comes up to him. He rips that piece of wood out of his spine, out of his back, and the blood's gushing out. A lot of skin comes out. It's very brutal looking. And then Victor Crowley twisted sistered his arms off and killed him. It was really fucking. Oh, he didn't kill him that way. He ripped his arms off and then shoved his boot on top of his head, pushed his face into like the mud, and had him drown that way. I don't know if he died out from bleeding out or if he suffocated, but it is such a brutal fucking death.
Yeah.
You think that gets kill of the movie?
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I like that one too.
Yeah. Bazooka's pretty good too.
Yeah, the AT-4 getting launched was actually pretty good. Like I said though, like Victor just watches the rocket go by and then just turns his head back like, y'all shoot that at me? It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I think Derek Mears' kill was a letdown because that's one better fight. So this might get kill the movie, Dwayne.
That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. So that gang leave. The three remaining survivors, which is Adam Green's ex-wife, Andrew, and we have the sheriff. They all run away, and then they bump into another medic who somehow survived. And then that medic runs on his own. He just screams at him and runs away like a dumbass. And then so we instantly go see Victor Crowley, chase him down. That guy finds Mary Beth's father's boat, and he's about to go out and he's hiding. And then he finds Ben, who from Hatchet 1 is somehow, who had his arm ripped off, is somehow still alive.
2 to 3 days later.
Yeah. And then he's asking for help. Victor shows up, throws his hatchet through Ben's head, and Ben says the famous line that's in each movie, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So he got to say it twice in Hatchet 1 and 3, and Tony Todd got to say it too. Alright, so back to the road trip. Amanda, Winslow, and Mary Beth get to Victor's relative's house, and boy fucking howdy, if it ain't Captain Howdy, what's his name?
Sid Haig.
Sid Haig. And boy does he Sid Haig the fuck out of this movie. He Sid Haigs everywhere. He's just how you want him to be.
One scene, he steals it.
He stole the show. He was killing it in there. And I thought him and Amanda, what was her name? Her real name?
Caroline Williams.
I thought they had great chemistry in that scene. They were fucking hilarious together. Like, he goes, over my dead body. She goes, all right. And he pulls the gun on him. He goes, well, blow my head off, bitch. I don't know. It's just basically how you want him to be in the movie. She's wanting to have Thomas Crowley's ashes, and he ain't having no part of it. So they end up taking it anyway. Also, he says a bunch of racist shit towards Winslow. And they're like, all right. All right, then. And then they head down there going over to Honey Island Swamp. So the three survivors from that group, the sheriff, Adam Green's ex-wife, and Schneiderman, are all huddled up in this boat, the medic boat. And Victor's trying to get in. He's beating all the things, and then he uses a belt, his famous belt sander, on the walls there, and he creates a little hole, but it's too small for him to get in. And then they're like, oh shit, they're freaking out. And then Amanda and the crew show up, and you can hear her screaming in the back for Victor. And Victor stops, and the sheriff's like, oh fuck, my ex-wife. He pokes his head out to go see her, and dumbass sheriff, and he didn't realize Victor Crowley's still there, and belt centers his fucking head off. Pretty gruesome kill. And then it gets dumber, Dwayne, because after right fucking after he's dead, that one girl she's looking around and she sees his gun, and she thinks that's going to keep him safe. How many times have they shot Victor Crowley in this movie?
A lot.
So she's like, well, I need that gun because that's going to work, because it worked for everybody else. And she goes to get the sheriff's gun, and Victor grabs her, pulls her in. I don't know what happens to her, but her guts come popping out.
I guess where the metal is sharp and stuff, when he pulls her through that hole, it just rips her insides out.
Yeah. It's fucking gruesome.
It's a good one.
And Andrew is the only one hugging the wall. He's like, fuck, nope, I'm hugging the wall. And Victor's like, alright, fuck this, I'm gonna go get those new people. So Victor goes down to Amanda and group, and they have Thomas Crowley's ashes, and Mary Beth sets it down for Victor, and Victor's like, he's kind of sitting there. He even says daddy, which is kind of cool. And was sitting there, and and then he goes, fuck it, and he's about to hit Mary Beth, but Winslow shoots him 3-4 times. And this is the second time this happened in the movie, Dwayne. Someone shoots Victor Crowley a couple times, they turn their back to Victor Crowley, and then he gets up and kills him. I'm pretty sure Schneiderman did it too, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
When he got that wood through his back, and then fucking Winslow does it, and Victor comes out and rips his fucking chest skin off, and blood's gushing out, and kills Winslow. And then he walks over to Amanda, and she goes, I believed in you. He's like, oh, fucking great. And he pulls her head off and kills her. And then he runs over to Mary Beth, and she grabs the ashes, and then he picks her up. And this is brutal. He impels her through a fucking broken tree limb. It's right, I guess right next to her stomach.
Yeah, she got hung up on there.
Yeah. And then she smashes the ashes over Victor Crowley's head, and it melts him. He just turns and melts to big goo. What a world. And then she kind of breaks the limb, and for good measure, she shoots the shit out of his melted corpse. Yeah. And
it's like a melted candle there, about 1-2 foot melted candle left, the way it looked like.
Yes. And that's how it is. And then the National Guard come. And then it kind of looks like she's dying there.
Yeah.
On the ground. She did get stabbed through the thing.
She got impaled.
Let's go ahead and spoil it for everybody. She didn't die. She's in 4. But, just to clarify. And then her and Andrew, Perry Ship, fucking lived. My boy. I'm so ecstatic. And that is Hatchet 3. Alright, Dwayne, what are your thoughts on the movie?
So, I liked it. Like I said, it was a lot more brutal. It was less comedy. I mean, the biggest comedy parts were where the guy fired the AT-4 at Victor Crowley, and Victor Crowley just watched it go by.
Yeah,
and then Sid Haig.
Yeah, Sid Haig, and then you got the balls in the tree.
Yeah, and just look at the balls. They're like, are those balls? And the guy's like slapping them and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a couple of good parts in that movie, comedy-wise, but a lot more brutal kills.
Yeah.
I liked it.
The brutality, though, even though there is brutal kills, it is toned down from 2.
Yeah, 2 was way over the top, but it was good though. Yeah. It was good over the top.
There is no over the top when it comes to us brutality kills.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep on with my other 2 Hatchet ratings. I'll keep it as a 7.
A 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like as much as liked 1 and 2, but it doesn't fall off that much. It's just a little bit more brutal, a little more serious, not as much comedy. Yeah, 6.5. It's close enough to a 7.
Okay. So here are my pros and cons for Hatchet 3. Here are the pros. Brutal kills, It's a fun slasher, just like the other two. A lot of horror actors for me to geek out on. Here are the cons. A big Jason versus Jason fight was a letdown. I missed the comedy. I give Hatchet 3 8 melted Victor Crowleys out of 10.